Okay, ready? Here we go. It really sucks when an actor applies for drama school, pays a really expensive audition fee, prepares for weeks, agonizing over self-tapes, only to then get a recall, to then attend the recall in person, jump through a ton of audition hoops for these audition panels, and giving themselves the hope that this could work out, they could get a place on a course, only to get a no at the very last hurdle. That sucks, but there is something that sucks a whole lot more. And you may agree with me on this one. The thing that sucks the most throughout this entire process, that in spite of paying that high audition fee and jumping through all of those hoops and doing audition after audition after audition with recalls and final rounds and all of this kind of stuff, having done all of that and getting a no, you get zero feedback from the drama school. Zero. Nothing. Like, fucking what? Like, seriously? All that investment and time and energy and hope and dedication and all of that work to get a no, but not just a no, you get crickets. Like, are you having a laugh? Are you genuinely taking the piss? Now, look, there are a couple of schools that do offer feedback, and we love them, and we will continue to love them as long as they continue to give feedback to people that they are giving no's to. But the vast majority, a woeful excuse for aftercare, in my opinion. And the reasons that these schools give, we have a high number of applications and couldn't possibly supply feedback to every single one of them. And I'm gonna call bullshit on that right now. If you were able to audition each and every one of them, then you should be able to feedback to every single one of them, because you are taking money from those actors. You are requesting that they jump through the hoops of the application forms and the personal statements and the mandatory speech lists and the this and the that. And for some people, having to get on a plane to cross a continent to come and recall for them. The schools can do all of that and demand all of that, but a few lines of feedback is beyond them. It's just out of the fucking question. Do better. Because in my opinion, if the school has the capacity to audition you, they should have the capacity to give you a handful of words of where it didn't quite work out this time round and some indication of where to improve for future auditions. But it seems that some schools would just prefer you to re-audition again and again and again and continue to stab in the dark and demand that you pay upwards of 40 quid and just have that spaffed up the wall just for the sheer privilege of being in their presence. Bonkers. It makes no sense to me. And before someone jumps in and says, well, the school doesn't have an obligation to give any feedback, and they say this in advance, therefore it's on you if you don't get any feedback, that the administration costs alone would just increase the audition fee out of the water. No. Firstly, if a school is charging an audition fee, they should have an obligation to tell you why the audition didn't go your way. Simple. Secondly, the audition panel write notes, or at least they should be writing notes throughout every single audition. How else are they going to keep track of the thousands upon thousands of applications that they get every single year? So surely the solution would just be to release those notes to the people that they are giving no's to. I mean, you're getting an email anyway telling you that it was unsuccessful, so what is putting an extra few sentences in that email going to do realistically? Like, am I just being incredibly naive believing that it really shouldn't be this way? And in my mind, this benefits everybody. Because for the actors that aren't making it past the self-tape round, maybe they're incredibly green, very new to the process, and they don't have a lot of experience in this regard. And they're not getting the opportunity at self-tape stage to be in front of an audition panel who will give them a little bit of energy in terms of a feedback, or at least they will see if something lands or doesn't land. But when you're just self-taping in your bedroom and sending it off out into the ether, hoping that somebody is watching it, and then getting a no in return, you learn nothing from that experience. So a couple of lines of feedback would be crucial for people at this stage. Like, how else are they supposed to get this kind of knowledge? To know how to progress from self-tape level to in-person recall stage? Because it's something that I stress again and again as a coach, that you aren't meant to know this stuff. Where are you picking it up from? We don't teach this at school or college level. So getting just a tiny, like the minimum amount from an audition panel of how to improve for next year. It's gonna mean so much to actors auditioning. And I cannot see for the life of me how that is gonna add extra administrative stress to these schools, when all it's really doing is giving these people who are auditioning and self-taping a fighting chance for next time. And quite frankly, for the people who are making it to the final rounds, like down to the wire, down to the final few people, everything's going right, everything's getting a yes, a yes, a yes, a yes, and then all of a sudden it's a no, and you don't tell them why? What the fuck? A piece of feedback at that stage is going to be it is literally the difference between them getting a yes and them getting a no. If you give them that information, then you are going to have so many more actors to choose from. Like, I thought we were trying to make training accessible. I thought we were trying to lower the bar to entry. I thought we were supposed to be giving people a fighting chance here. So when drama schools just refuse to give even a few lines of feedback, all it feels like is a big bucket of gatekeeping, and it puts a bloody bad taste in my mouth. Okay, right. Well, now that I've got that out of my system, what should we be doing about it all? Because here on this channel, we can't just wallow in the self-pity or shake our fists and curse the skies, not for too long, because eventually we've got to formulate some semblance of productivity and figure out where we go from here. And sadly, at the moment, the only thing that I can think of for you to do is ask for it anyway. And I know that it seems like a drop in the ocean, and especially when the audition panels and the schools themselves saying on their website, we do not offer any feedback. I know that it seems like it's just going to piss them off and get in their way and inconvenience them and blacklist you, which it won't. But my theory is that the more and more people ask for feedback, the more and more likely these schools are going to acknowledge that this is something that is needed, that is wanted, that is being requested, and eventually they will change their policies. Because we've already got a few schools that are giving feedback. So surely we can make this the norm. We can make this standard. And there's been loads of headway in the professional industry, even just for casting directors to let people know that they weren't successful for auditions. That used to just be a case of, if you audition for something, you found out that you didn't get it by hearing the cast announcement on Twitter, X. And things have changed now, and we're finding more and more that the industry standard is for casting directors to let people know that they were unsuccessful. And how did we achieve this? By complaining, by grumbling, by asking, by pestering. That is how we changed it. And I fundamentally believe that we can change it here, that by asking, by requesting, can you give me some feedback? Can you release the notes that were taken by the audition panel on the day so that I've got some understanding of where I went wrong so that I know where to improve for next time? The more and more people ask for that, the more and more likely they are going to see that as a standard request and therefore a requirement. Because after all, these are institutions of learning, and you are asking to learn, you are asking to figure out where you went wrong and where you can improve for next time. That is an admirable quality, and that should be encouraged. After all, you are seeking training, therefore you should be assumed to not know anything yet. So how they can presume that you are going to figure it out from one audition season to the next with no indication of what was going through their heads makes no fucking sense to me. So please, if you get a no from a drama school, follow it up with a request for feedback. And if they get back to you and say that we do not offer feedback, if you are feeling especially bold, I would then follow up with another email asking why. Because we're actors after all. The whole thing that we are supposed to be doing is asking why. We're supposed to be curious. Because this element of the audition process needs to change. So this is my call to action. This is my call to arms. Ask why. Ask for your feedback, and ask why if they withhold it from you. It drives me nuts as an audition coach. It drives me nuts as an audition panelist. It drives me nuts simply as a person watching these actors pouring their hearts and their souls and their work and everything that they have into these auditions to just get silence. So let's try and change it by asking. Because if you don't ask, you don't get. And if at this stage you are done with just stabbing in the dark, but you can't wait for the whole policy of feedback from auditions to change, then get in touch for some coaching. I will give you feedback. I will give you guidance. I will give you my honest appraisal of where you were falling short and what you should be improving on for the next audition season, because you deserve to be told the truth. Because if this is something that you genuinely want to pursue, then honest feedback comes as part of that. And if you've got some free time in July and August, then you should sign up for my audition summer school. We're going to be doing 5 weeks worth of workshops and masterclasses and self-tape assignments, all with feedback and guidance and a personalized action plan just for you, so that you can approach the next audition season feeling confident, feeling in control, and feeling like you know what the fuck you're doing. And all of the details for signing up for that are below. Now look, I know this was a bit of a ranty one, and I really hope that you forgive me for that one. We will be back with the classic kind of YouTube videos that I normally do. But if you are currently frustrated and feeling like you are just kind of at sea and in the dark with the whole thing, then drop a comment below. I would love to connect. I would love other people to connect. I want connection. YouTube connection. But seriously, drop a comment below. Let's get chatting. Let's figure this out and let's try and change things for the better. Like and subscribe as always. And in the meantime, see you in the next one.